Yeah, getting monetized is hard, and beginner YouTubers are constantly making it harder than it has to be. That's why I've got 8 tips that you should not do when you're starting and trying to monetize a new YouTube channel. Starting with number 1, which is waiting to start. This one bogs us down so bad because we always have excuses why we're going to wait to start. Leave a comment below of what kept you from getting started or is keeping you from getting started on YouTube right now. And more importantly, why your excuse is actually good. I'm going to tell you something kind of embarrassing. I waited 20 years to start YouTube. I was already an adult when YouTube came out. I was making professional grade videos. I have a degree in radio television. And I'm laughing, but I'm crying inside. I could be 20 years ahead if I had just started in the beginning instead of waiting for the perfect niche, waiting for the right equipment, waiting for certain topics or trends to see if they were going to popularize the way I thought they would. Just get started. It doesn't matter whatever it is that you're into or whatever it is that you're doing. If you just take your phone out and start recording yourself every day and picking the videos that you like and putting those on YouTube, that's a great way to get started. It's not an eternal solution for YouTube, though some people seem like that's all they do and they make tons of money. How do they do that? But it is a good way to get yourself going on YouTube. And if you're having trouble coming up with niche ideas, just open up your YouTube or your TikTok or Instagram and see what stuff you watch all the time. Because chances are, those are your interests and you'll probably feel comfortable talking about that stuff a lot to other people. But when you get started, the most important part of picking your niche and starting your channel is number 2, which is being consistent. Give this video a like if you are not consistent. Hold on a second, I have to like this video real quick. But in all seriousness, why is it so hard to be consistent? There's always something better that we want to do with our time. But the fact of the matter is, it's very important to stay consistent on YouTube because the algorithm really appreciates knowing that it can count on you to serve videos to the viewers that it's looking for to find videos for. That is the algorithm's sole purpose, to take videos and cater them as much as possible to a specific individual. And it can't do that unless you are being consistent with everything that you post, both in niche and in the day and time and maybe the type of humor, whatever it is. You've got to be consistent in what you do. And that doesn't mean you can't have different types of stuff you put on your channel, but it means that you need to make sure that you are consistently putting out those different types. Raise your hand if you're bad at this. Number 3 is extremely important for first-time YouTubers. You need to have a passion for your niche, okay? Do not pick a niche solely based on money. Obviously, everybody starts YouTube because there's a chance of being able to make some extra cash on it, which is true, and it absolutely can happen. But if you're simply picking a niche just so that you can make money, the lack of passion is going to come through like a sore thumb. It's going to be so obvious, and people are going to notice. And it's not that they're going to be like, oh, this guy has a lack of passion. They're just going to stop watching because you won't seem excited about what you're doing. I'm actually struggling with that right now on one of my monetized channels because of the fact that when I started it, I was really passionate about what I was doing. But as I evolved for the audience, I kind of realized I don't like doing this niche the way everybody else does it, and nobody seems to care about the way I want to do it. So YouTube can be a tricky thing like that. But something that makes it seem simple when you start your channel is number 4, blasting it on Facebook. This is actually not the best idea. Now, if you are a mom and you have a bunch of mom friends on Facebook, like solely mom friends, and you start a YouTube channel on being a mom, that might be a good time to blast it on Facebook. But if you're just a regular person like me and your Facebook is, all of your high school classmates, every family member you've ever met or known, every person that you've met in business, this gets so wide and varied that what happens is when you blast it on Facebook, you get a lot of people that are willing to support you, but they don't really actually ever watch your videos. So you have a whole bunch of subscribers on your YouTube channel that won't watch your videos, and the algorithm considers this to be bad because your subscribers are your first test audience. So only get people to subscribe to your channel if there's actually a potential there for them to regularly watch your videos, not because they like you, but because they like your niche and you combined. Oh, number 5 is a big one. I have so much trouble with this. You can't be perfect. It's not going to happen. There's no such thing as a perfect video. Even Mr. Beast himself has said that after he makes these videos that have done really well, he goes back and looks at them, and now he's like, oh, those are terrible. He'll do the same thing in 10 more years. If every video you make, your goal is to make it perfect, you will probably never finish your first video. On this channel right here, I put a ton of time into my first videos on this channel. Usually if you watch a channel, you'll notice that the editing and everything progresses and gets better and better and better. Well, I started off with a lot of editing at the beginning of this channel, and you'll notice my videos quickly dropped off because I realized I can't keep that up. I can do one once in a while, but I can't every single week come out with a highly edited, I don't want to say perfect because they're not perfect, but you work on it until it's perfect. It's unreasonable. Do not do that. It is not something that's going to help you in the long run, and it is just going to make you get burnout, which happens to us all, but a lot of people never make it through it before their channel is even monetized. At some point, you just have to stick a fork in it and call it done. Number 6 was a game changer tip for me. A lot of YouTubers do not do this. They start and they think that they just don't need any help. They just want to do it on their own merit. If you're not going to accept any help, at least accept this, because you can do this yourself. Get VidIQ. I have a link in the description. VidIQ has all kinds of awesome tools. One of the first things I used on it was probably the keyword research, but really the title generation. I used it to generate some of the first titles I used it to generate on my original channel, not this one right here. They popped off really quick. My first videos to get over 1,000 views in 24 hours because I was allowing an expert, VidIQ, to help me to do better than I would have done on my own. So absolutely get VidIQ. There's a free version, so don't worry about thinking, oh, now I got to pay for something. No, you can get away with the free version on VidIQ. It's very helpful, and it'll help your videos to not be perfect, but to be a lot better than they could have been if you were just working on it on your own. Number 7, I am really bad at this, but I try very hard to at least pretend I'm doing this on every video. And that is having a checklist for every single video you do. The checklist, it kind of can be personalized, but it can be everything from like keywords that you need to have in every video or a specific video. It could be music license, making sure you have things like that in there, making sure that you always mention your products or that you're having a good intro hook or question. You also could put in there to make sure and ask them to like, comment, or share, which, by the way, would be great if you liked and commented and shared. But the reason it's so important to have this checklist is because it will help you with number 2, which is being consistent. A checklist will make it so that every time someone comes to your video, they know what to expect and they know that they're going to get the same kind of content every time, which, again, I'm not really great at that. I bounce all over the place, so do as I say, not as I do. Okay, number 8, I put this one here as 2 and 1. And the reason I did that is because they contradict each other. Don't forget to keep your channel focused, okay? Stay niche-centered while also remembering to experiment once in a while and do something different. If I had put these on 2 different ones, you would have been like, oh, you're contradicting yourself. But let me explain myself. You definitely need to keep your channel focused on a simple niche. If your channel is about, I don't know, extreme kiting, or something cool, you got to make sure that all of your videos are focused on that niche. Whereas there's some people who can't figure out why they never get monetized, and one week they're fixing their car, another week they're going, deep sea fishing, and another, they're just all over the place. If you like deep sea fishing, you're going to want to watch that every time. If you like watching cars, you're going to want to watch that every time. And if you don't stay focused, people are not going to keep coming back. You're going to be constantly relying on new viewers, which is a terrible way to go. Well, if we're supposed to stay so focused, why is it important to experiment? Well, experimenting doesn't necessarily have to get you outside your niche. Experimenting can be something as simple as maybe you start doing live streams, or maybe you do a video that's just simply funny. Maybe you are deciding that you're going to go do like a man on the street type video. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that it is still kind of focused on your niche, because if it's completely outside your niche, chances are people that are subscribed to you aren't going to be the ones watching it. But you just want to make sure that you're keeping things fresh, always making sure that you're trying anything new that's out there while still sticking to your core audience. I know that's the most confusing thing in the world. That's the best way I can put it. And although these are big mistakes that YouTubers make, I think that number 4 is probably one of the bigger ones. So I explain that in a little bit more detail in this video right here.